You cannot prioritize profits over lives. I am telling you now, if you implement these changes...
You're asking me to delay a $50 million project for 12 non-paying occupants. 28. I corrected. Victor didn't miss a beat. 28 non-paying occupants. They're human beings. They're liabilities. The word landed like a slap. Have you ever told a family there wasn't a bed? I asked. We can't run a hospital on guilt. It's not guilt, I said. It's federal reimbursement. That made him pause if you're drawn to the untold power struggles, quiet sacrifices, and hidden battles medical professionals fight behind hospital doors. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe so I can keep bringing these stories to more lovely people like you. I stepped closer to the table. 28 high acuity patients, 22 uninsured, 6 under pending Medicaid review. If you force transfer before stabilization and they bounce back through the ER septic or coding, the readmission penalties alone will cost you more than that robotics wing ribbon cutting. A few board members looked up. Victor's voice stayed smooth. That's speculative. No, I said. It's actuarial. He leaned back. The annex operates at a net loss of $3.2 million annually. Chronic inefficiency, outdated billing, poor utilization, because it takes the patients no one else will. That's not a business model. It's a hospital. Silenced, he folded his hands. You're asking me to stall progress for a structurally broken unit. I'm asking you not to trigger a cascade of preventable deaths and federal penalties. He held my gaze. If you have leverage, he said softly, use it. A faint smirk. Call whoever you want. 9 days earlier, I thought data would be enough. I sent projections. Mortality risk during forced transfer for ventilator-dependent patients. Dialysis interruption outcomes. Insurance denial timelines to NO response. I cornered the CFO. If you close the annex abruptly, 28 patients default into uncompensated emergency care, I said. You'll absorb that cost anyway. We absorb it across departments, he replied. And if 3 of them die in transit? He didn't answer. Ethics told me closure was permissible. Legal told me transfers were compliant. Compliance doesn't mean survivable. The East Annex isn't pretty. It's where patients land after being declined elsewhere to NO Platinum Insurance to NO Foundation Boards. Just complex cases that don't fit profit columns. Mr. Alvarez, post-stroke, aspirates if moved too soon. Danielle Carter, spinal trauma, surgery contingent on Medicaid authorization. Reverend Hale, dialysis 3 times a week. No private center will accept his reimbursement rate. If we discharge them early, they don't land in recovery. They land in crisis, and crisis always costs more. Back in the boardroom, Victor tapped the rendering of the new surgical tower. National rankings matter, he said. Attracting top surgeons matters. So does avoiding wrongful death litigation. I replied, and a board member shifted uncomfortably. Victor's jaw tightened slightly. Are you threatening the hospital? I'm reminding you of risk exposure. His eyes cooled. We cannot preserve every inefficient service because it feels morally upright. It's not about feeling upright, I said. It's about systemic displacement. You close the annex, those 28 don't vanish. They flood your ER. They destabilize your metrics. They increase mortality rates. He stood slowly. You're asking me to protect a failing model. I'm asking you to reform it without killing the people inside it. Soft murmurs around the table. Victor gestured toward me. Call whoever you want. In the hallway, my pulse thudded in my ears. Nurse Carla looked at me. Did he budge? No, then what? I stared at my phone. I need someone who understands both medicine and power. I called Dr. Samuel Pierce, and he answered. Pierce. It's Ellie Brooks. South Point Ellie. Yes. You sound like you're about to argue with God. Close. The board. What happened? They're closing the East Annex, 28 high-risk patients. Most uninsured. Forced transfers. Silence then. It shouldn't be running the way it is. I clenched my jaw. So we let it collapse. I said it's flawed, not disposable. They're 11 days from demolition. Another pause. My father was treated there, he said quietly, when no one else would admit him. They absorbed the cost. I know. It saved his life. But the annex has been financially bleeding for years. So fix it, I said. Don't bulldoze it. A breath. Is Langston there? Yes. I'm not calling to rescue you, he said. I'm calling to confront him. About what? Fear. Put him on. Hold on a sec. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country below and say hello to someone in the comments. I'd love to see how far the story travels. Victor took the phone. Yes, sir. For minutes, he didn't look at me. The numbers are real, he said at one point. Pause. No, I hadn't considered the readmission exposure in that context. Another pause. Yes. I remember. He ended the call slowly. Everyone out, he said. The room cleared. He stayed standing. Do you know what Pierce asked me? He said that I didn't answer. He asked me why I'm trying to erase the part of his hospital that once saved my family. Silence. My father nearly died in that annex, Victor said. We were uninsured. They stabilized him anyway. And now? I asked. Now I see a unit that drains resources and drags down performance metrics. You see inefficiency, I said. I see displacement. He looked at me sharply. You're defending a broken structure. Yes. Why? Because 28 unstable patients can't survive your timeline. He studied me. You're not just fighting for them. No, I admitted. I'm fighting the system that quietly decides they're expendable. That landed to erupt his temple. The annex is mismanaged. If we keep it, it must transform. Then give me the chance. How long? 60 days. That's unrealistic. 45. And in 45 days, we audit staffing, correct billing leakage, apply for transitional care grants, formalize Medicaid acceleration pathways, build a sustainability plan that integrates with the main campus. And if you fail, then you close it. He watched me for a long moment. 30 days, he said. That's not enough. Prove me wrong. 45. I repeated. Silence. 45, he said finally. Demolition paused. But you present hard data, not emotion. You'll have it. I ignored your emails, he admitted. I assumed you were loud. I am. I misjudged you. You misjudged them. I said he didn't argue. That night, the annex light stayed on. 28 charts still active. 28 lives not forced into ambulances. MR. Alvarez swallowed without aspirating. Danielle's authorization finally moved to pending approval. Reverend Hale squeezed my hand. We safe. For now, I said. Upstairs, Victor reopened the demolition file. He didn't delete it. He added a note. Hold. 45-day restructuring review. Power doesn't always fold. Sometimes it negotiates. Sometimes it remembers. And sometimes it forces you to prove that the people everyone else writes off are worth restructuring the system for.